The first episode of Whirlwind begins with a flashback that takes place 7.5 hours prior to Park Dong-ho, the current prime minister, being arrested. Dong-ho is suspected of taking millions of won in bribery from a man named Mr. Choi. The prosecution is anticipated to place Dong-ho under arrest. The prosecution possesses sufficient evidence, according to the media, to support their case, and many are urging an expedited hearing. At the same time, we witness Dong-ho driving to the Blue House to meet President Jang Tae-joon in private. We kind of thought that Dong-jo would ask for forgiveness, but we were really in for a surprise. As it happens, Dong-ho was set up by President Jang Tae-joon to take the fall and protect his son. Despite Dong-ho's unwavering loyalty during their lengthy acquaintance, President Jang Tae-joon is set on using him as a scapegoat. He believes Dong-jo ought to have ignored his and his son's transgressions. He thus hopes that Dong-ho will accept responsibility without raising a fuss. However, Dong-ho has a strategy and understands that trying to be sentimental or beg for pity from President Jang Tae-joon is pointless. He is aware of President Jang Tae-joon's underlying medical conditions and once saved his life during a heart attack. Dong-ho provides the president a vape pen that contains compounds that can cause cardiac arrest while they are conversing. He then exits the building and approaches Yun-suk, the chief of staff, to confess his guilt. Later, Yun-suk meets with the president and tells him that, at his request, the prosecution has already begun investigating Dong-ho. Yun-suk, though, is skeptical that they will convict him. President Jang Tae-joon collapses while they are conversing and is taken to the Armed Forces Capital Hospital. As for Dong-ho, his worried secretary Jong-eun welcomes him back to his office. She is reassured by Dong-ho that they have taken the necessary steps to save the nation and should now concentrate on their next strategy. As Dong-ho waits for the Blue House call, he begins preparing his statement. Regretfully, they receive a call from the Blue House informing them that President Jang Tae-joon is still alive, but in grave condition. They are abruptly obliged to change course since Dong-ho is unable to assume the role of acting president right away. The deputy prime minister, Soo-jin, goes to the hospital to be by the First Lady's side in another instance. She also conspires with Kang Sang-won, the vice chairman of Daejin Group, to detain Dong-ho and prolong the life of the president for their own gain. Sang-won and President Jang Tae-joon would go to jail for corruption if she passes away. The moment everyone gets to the hospital, the physicians let them know that President Jang Tae-joon is not expected to survive and would require surgery. Following the doctor's declaration, Soo-jin pulls Dong-ho aside and advises him to ignore the situation and save himself. Dong-ho, though, is unwavering in his resolve to expose the president and the Soo-jin and Daejin organization and destroy his legacy. Soo-jin is equally ready for battle and will not back down. Just in case, she requests that the First Lady direct the physicians to extend President Jang Tae-joon's surgery until 9 in the morning. This allows her time to organize the prosecution in order to prevent Dong-ho from taking over by having him arrested the next morning. Knowing this, Dong-ho contacts Chairman Kang, a powerful politician with several connections. Chairman Kang has consistently been in the running for president, although he has never been successful. If he assists him, Dong-ho assures him that he will have a greater chance of winning the next election. The First Lady, Soo-jin, and the Chief of Staff are taken aback when Chairman Kang invites renowned medical professionals to see the procedure as morning breaks. The surgeons decide to call it quits early on in the procedure. Dong-ho, in the meantime, goes to the hospital chapel to ask for a miracle. When Seoul District Prosecutor Han Cheol shows up with an arrest warrant, he is not taken aback. If anything, he approaches Soo-jin and declares that he will take over as acting president for as long as the president is unable to carry out his responsibilities. Stated differently, Han Cheol is unable to arrest him because, as an acting president, he is subject